Hello. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Man, I love it. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Blake. This is my husband, John. Ooh, I'm not wearing my red ring. That's okay. I tanned yesterday. Beautiful. I tanned yesterday, so I don't have my jewelry on. But if you're not new here, hi, hello, we love you, we missed you. Today, I'm gonna be doing my makeup while we answer questions about just like relationship questions and stuff like that. I put on my Instagram story, I always put up like Q&As and stuff on my Instagram story, and whatever we have like a bulk amount of things, I think we're gonna like just chat on here about. Because we have more
chit-chat time.
Chit-chat, beautiful babes. Well, we just have more space on here to like explain things and just go deeper than like a regular Instagram story that erases in like 24 hours. So I'm gonna get ready. I have my little makeup bag here and it's just like a 2-for-1, you know? You know? John has his computer here if he is like looking down. He has his computer with all of the questions, so that we can get the show on the road.
General relationship advice, and we just like were talking about it the other day, so I wrote down some stuff. The first one we have is don't ignore red flags from the start.
Oh yeah.
Just because somebody's attractive or they seem like fun or your friends told you they were good or something, if you notice red flags, ignoring them, they'll probably pop up later.
Yeah, they will. They definitely will.
If they're lying to you, if they seem shady, if they're not being like honest about their past relationships or their present ones, I would just not ignore that. Those are like fundamental kind of shitty things.
Yeah.
And they probably they may change in the future, but
also you don't want
why even start with that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you don't want someone that you have to like change and that you have to like put in all of this work. Like it should be pretty, especially in the beginning.
Yeah. It
should be really easy, which kind of like goes into the next thing that oh my god. Ooh. The next thing that I wanted to say is I saw someone talk about this on TikTok. I do not remember who it was, but if I do, I can like link her video down below. But she was saying that she won't actually like be boyfriend and girlfriend with somebody for the first 3 months of like the talking stage, because someone can like really pull one over on you and like pull the wool over your eyes for the first 3 months of like, they could just like pretend to be a good person, but like, you know, after 3 months, like you kind of generally will know if they are a good person or not, and you'll see like what they like to do and what they don't like to do. Like, you know, like if I didn't like cleaning, which I don't, I could put up a ruse for like a month, but like 3 months, like 3 months is a long time, and like you would kind of like fall off, and then you'd kind of see like the pattern of like, okay, like this person actually doesn't like to do this. And,
I never heard that before, but I like it. I think it's really smart. It's super important to me that I always brought up with people eventually. I mean, it's not a bad first date question too, is like, how's your relationship with your family?
You asked me that before we even met.
Yeah, I think
you asked me the first day.
Because it's just something that is inherent in you and it pops up later on. Like, not to say that if you have a bad relationship with your family, you're gonna have bad relationships in the future, but they do shape the way that you view relationships to a certain extent. So it's just a good thing to know, and I think it's just an important part of who you are is your family and your upbringing and who you were around, and it's just something to not ignore and to kind of learn about somebody, and you get to learn a lot about them through that too.
Also, going off of that, just like slightly, is I've told this story so many times, but basically like I wasn't going to give John a chance because when we were originally DMing on Instagram, and then he was like, here, if you want my phone number, here it is, like no pressure to like text me, like we can keep it on Instagram, not a big deal. And I got his phone number and I was like, wait, this is an LA phone number. I was like, are you from LA? And he was like, yeah, why? And I was like, oh, like actually I'm good. And we had like set up something that we were gonna go out like the next day. And I was like, oh, like actually, or like, no, not the next day, or like we were gonna meet up. And then he was like, I was like, like I'm actually good. And he was like, wait, what? And I was just like, yeah, like I'm not really like into LA guys. Like I've done the LA guy thing, and like it's just not my vibe, but like thanks for like the good chat, thanks for the good banter. And he was just like, okay, he didn't like push, he was just like, okay, like if you change your mind, like here's my phone number. And I was like, okay. The next day, you know, I was I was bored. I was missing this one. It was literally the first conversation we had. And I was like, hey, I like texted him. I was like, hey, it's like, anyway, that is all to say, like, don't judge a book by its cover either. Like, I almost didn't give John a chance because he was from LA and like LA gives off like douche vibes.
But it's don't judge a book by a stereotype of a generalized person or place. Right. If you're a little bit older and you're actually looking for a long-term relationship, telling the person like your 1 to 5 year plans, seeing if they link up, if there's any like big discrepancies, like I'm gonna move to Alaska,
or like if they want kids or not. Like I feel like
in
it's like kind of taboo to be like, oh, you're already bringing up kids like this. Well, I mean,
it doesn't have
when
to
you're
be that.
of a particular age, it's just like, well, if you want kids and if you don't, then like if this person wants kids and this person doesn't, like it's not going to work. Yeah. So it's better that you like get that out of the way and kind of move on and on to the next.
And also like the pressure time frame, like one person wants kids in a year, the next one wants them in 5. Well, that's not really
it's just good to talk.
It might not work because it might just be one of those stressful things that's not worth it. So it's a good thing to talk about, I think, for sure. Guys should pay. I saw a funny TikTok that said girls spend like $100 doing their makeup.
Oh my god,
and so the least the guy could do is pay. That's pretty funny.
It was so funny. He was sitting in his car. He was like, "Girl, your foundation is 10 times what this little like ice cream date that he's about to take you on. You are not splitting the bill." And I'm like, period. I think that boys should pay, especially in the beginning. I remember we don't really go on dates too much. We just like order in. But I remember in my last relationship, we did go on dates a lot because we didn't like see each other that often because we didn't live together or anything. And I always would like pay the tip because like if he was gonna, like say it was $100, like I would just give $20 for the tip. Like, so I always would just like have a little bit of cash on me. So it like felt like he wasn't covering the entire bill. This was after we were dating for like 2 years or like a year. So it wasn't like in the beginning when he's trying to like court you, you are the prize. So I think that you should not split the bill in the beginning. If you're like going out on dates like 2-3 times a week with this one guy, maybe take him to coffee or something. Get him a little ice cream, get him a little coffee, get him a little something, but he should want to treat you. This doesn't really go into like relationship advice. It was more so like money things, but I think that like if someone makes $100,000 and someone makes $50,000 and your rent is $2,000, I don't think that you should split it $1,000 and $1,000. These are round numbers, obviously. I think that it doesn't have to be like perfectly, you make half, so you pay half. But like I feel like it would be nice for the person that makes $100,000 to like put a few more dollars into the rent.
With a caveat that you guys aren't married. Because once you're married, it's all the same money.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Right. But before you're married and you're living together in an apartment and one person makes a lot more and the other makes a lot less, like why burden the person that's making a lot less? You just make it relatively even based on your income. It's like what we did and it worked out. Don't get too drunk on the first date, maybe. Like get a little
tipsy if you want.
Get a little bit of like liquid courage, but don't go crazy. I've had dates where girls have gotten pretty drunk and it doesn't leave like the best impression. But then again, it kind of depends on your age and where you are in life. True. Maybe you're just going to a club and you're getting drunk. So I mean, it's completely different. I'm talking about more like you're a little bit older and you're going on a date. Yeah. Have a couple glasses of wine, but you don't need to like be pulling back shots and stuff at late 20s and 30s, like on a first date. It's a little silly.
At the date or before the date?
I mean, like I said, if you want to get a little liquid courage, I might do it before the date.
I did it before the date.
And then probably not during the date. Well, we went to go get cake, so drinking would have been pretty weird. We went to just like a scone shop.
I had two glasses of wine before you even picked me up.
So I mean, that's not a bad idea. That's fun. I'm just saying, if you're trying to build a connection with somebody and they're sloshed, it's not gonna be like the most organic, great connection. Like you may hook up, but that's different than kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
I
can't believe how long I've had this concealer under my eyes. But
Blake said she wants to do like activities instead of dinner, so you don't get stuck at dinner.
Yeah.
And I said you can always plan to tell the person that you have an activity after dinner if you want a way out or something
Or like you
like
have
that.
a really early morning at work, like you can't be out that late.
Yeah, and then if you want to extend it, you can always extend and the person is going to feel good, or you just keep it the way it is and it's neutral.
Yeah. Except John asked me to go for a run on our first date, like for our first date, before we went and ate cake, and I was like,
this was
absolutely
this
not.
was when Blake's like.
This is when I was in my 3-month line.
Blake's job was was Active Escapes, which is a fitness retreat, and I thought she was like a workout girl.
Yeah.
Come to find out she hates working out. Does not would pay money to not work out.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I'm just not. Yeah.
She also.
Like, I'll do
she
it.
thinks she turns red when she works out. So.
Oh my god, I'm a tomato face when I work out, so that's why I don't like working out with like on a date especially. One of the questions was like, should you have sex on the first date? And I honestly just I honestly just think that it depends on you and like the situation that you're in. If you want to, go for it, like more girl power. If you don't, absolutely don't. I just don't think that there's like a right or wrong time to have. Oh, I think that they also asked like, how long should you wait to have sex? And it's just like, there's no right or wrong answer. Like you can have sex on the first date and like you could marry that person, or you could wait a year. I don't know. There's no right or wrong answer. I think. What do you think?
I probably wouldn't have sex on the first date if you're trying to do something long term and serious. I think it messes with your head and it kind of like clouds your non-sexual thoughts. So maybe I just wouldn't. If I was trying to a long term one, but it's different for everybody. I think it just changes the way that you view somebody drastically. So I maybe wouldn't. It's kind of like drinking alcohol. It just changes the way you view somebody.
Skews the views.
It's not skewed in a bad way. It changes stuff.
Okay.
Let's see. Somebody asked like how we knew that each other was kind of more the one than other people. And so the first date, Blake was easy to talk to, and she was sweet and seemed caring from the start. And then I met her parents really fast because they happened to be in town for a retreat that she was doing, and so they were super nice, and so that was kind of a check on the box. I was like, oh, all these people are like super nice and inviting, and made me feel pretty accepted and normal, and I literally had just met her.
Also, it's so funny because the first time John met my parents, he was supposed to come over to like this beach house that we rented, and this old man hit John's car, and so basically he got into a car accident, and I was like he was like, oh, like I got into a car accident, I'm gonna be like 30 minutes late, and I was just like, wait, what? I was like, do you need any help? Like, what's going on? And he was just like, no, like it's okay, it's just like a little setback. And I'm like, that just was like, wow, this guy is a real like, I was gonna say piece of work, like a real gentleman, like a real like stand-up guy that he literally just got in a car accident, and then he's still going to like come here and like meet my parents. So
yeah, and I think like that's part of learning good people to date and not. Like if somebody wants to hang out with you, no matter what, they'll find the time. So if somebody's like,
find
oh,
the time.
I'm too busy, or oh, I have work, or oh, I have this or that, like
okay, you're just
yeah, but that means that all of that stuff is more important than hanging out and getting to know you. And it just is. That's not a bad thing at all.
Yep.
It's just that's where you are in the scheme of what's important to them.
Yep.
If dating, finding a relationship, getting married was so important to them, none of that stuff would matter.
Yep.
And all that stuff can
and if
wait.
you were important to them too, like
yeah. And I'm not saying obviously like take off work. Don't be ridiculous.
No.
But like after work, like if you can't find time to meet somebody for a week, that's
right,
kind of
like
weird. Unless you're out of town, that's kind of weird.
Like
you're always,
you can find
yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes is not that unless you're like long distance, obviously.
You can get coffee before dinner. You
Right.
can stop by and bring flowers. You can do something small to say hi to the person and then move on with your life.
Yep. You
doesn't
stopped
have to be
by.
this big thing. Yeah,
You stopped
I stopped by.
and
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that's really sweet. Because I actually one of my friends was in town. And so we were hanging out, and like obviously I wasn't gonna like just like ditch my friend to hang out with him because my friend came from New York, and John came and like just after work he just like came and swung by and like brought flowers and just like came for like 15 minutes when she was like in the shower or something. So it's the small things that like really count.
Yeah, for sure.
That was also something that I liked about you because I am an introvert and like my social battery like drains really, really, really quickly. Like I just need like, 15 minutes to decompress every like 2 hours that I'm with someone. And I didn't really get that feeling that I needed to like just be alone to like scroll on my phone or just like literally, we didn't have Penelope yet, but that's how I decompress now. Just like lay with Penelope for like 10 minutes and like I didn't really ever like feel like I needed to do that.
Yeah.
So my first impressions of John, I thought that he was so cute. I'd never dated someone with long hair, and so I
just cut my hair.
I just cut his hair, but I never dated someone with long hair, and so I was just like really like attracted to that. He also like opened my door, and he didn't try, although like it would have been fine if he tried to kiss me on the first date. Like we just hugged, and like that was cute. He also like followed up like right when he left, and like that just like showed me that he cares. It was just like so many little things that I like didn't know. What? Oh, I thought that you were doing something. There's just so many little things that like I didn't know mattered to me or that I was like looking for, that John was just like he was ticking my boxes, you know? Ticking them.
I also like don't have the best game, so wasn't like gonna wait 5 days to text her and
No, I don't think you waited 5 minutes.
do all this dumb shit. Like I think when I left I was like, hey, I had a really good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah.
Just something like simple, like a normal fucking person.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm gonna say this, that, or the other, or try to do this, or have an ulterior motive, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, thanks, that was fun.
And then like he was like, I want to see you again, so like that was really nice. Then also on the first date, it was like really easy to hold a conversation, and then he told me that he has a physical therapist, and like I was like, oh, you have like a real man's job, like. Whereas like a lot of like the people that I had been going out on dates with, it was just like kind of like industry peeps, or like they didn't have like a real job, and it was just like, although like it was just a tick on the box that I like didn't even know that I wanted that box to be ticked. I was just like, oh, that's really nice. Also, like, not that my past relationships were like super toxic or bad like in any way. They were all like kind of fine, and we like parted amicably. But I had 3 past relationships, and I feel like when I knew John was the one, it was that like after a few months and like none of these like issues per se that were in my last relationships that like kind of gave me doubts, like none of those were arising with John like in any way, shape, or form. Like in my last relationship, like he just like didn't really want to hang out with me, and like that often, like he was just like, oh, like seeing me once a week for like one night was like fine with him. Whereas like me, like obviously if you know John and I, we are attached at the hip. We hang out literally, I mean, we're married, we live together.
We're married, we live together, we work together.
But we walk to the post office together. We literally just like hang out with each other all the time.
Blake is unknowing to herself, very codependent.
Yes, I am. And we just like love to be together. Whereas like my last relationship, he just like didn't really see like the like quality time. Like that is a big thing for me, and like just like hanging out with each other, and he just didn't see that as like a big thing. So that was that.
And that's I feel like that's one of those things you could learn in 3 months. Is something like that. Like you'll learn if the person wants to hang out with you a lot, or just wants you in little spritzes of hanging out. Which for some people it might work really well, the little tiny hanging out.
Yeah,
but Blake wanted somebody all the time to hang out, which is fine. Yeah. That's what I wanted too. Yeah. I feel like I'm more of the kind of person that like misses hanging out with somebody when I'm gone and I want to come home, rather than like, oh, they'll be there when I get home type of person, which is just, I don't know, just an inherent like trait that I have.
And we both have that. So that was another thing. I'm trying to think what. Well, in my second to last relationship, we were in college, so we obviously like drank a lot, partied a lot, and that caused a lot of tension in our relationship, just because like when you're drunk, you get angry and mean, and like you say things that you don't mean, or maybe you do mean them. I don't really know, but that again didn't happen with us because we don't really drink. We don't really have like. Also, college is kind of like, are you looking at that girl? Like, I don't know, something a little like. Something like that, but again, so that never happened.
Like, maybe just like a different immature relationship versus an older, like a little bit more mature relationship.
Right.
And college relationships are like toxic as hell anyway.
Yeah.
Because like
you're trying to
figure out who you are, and you're trying to figure out what you want to do and where you want to go, and all these new different experiences without your parents. Like that's a big like transition point in your life. And I think we met when you were what? How old? 26?
I think like 26 or 27.
So I was 29.
You were 29, yeah.
So like that's a pretty good time to meet somebody and they kind of know who they are and
Yeah.
what they want to do and where they want to live and what path they're going to go on and kind of figure out a little bit more about who they are.
Yeah, and that kind of scared me a little bit in the beginning because like I'm not gonna say I was in my fuck girl era, but like I was definitely not like thinking that I was gonna like go out on a date with this person and then like basically have them move in within less than 2 months. Like I was dating around. Like that's just like I was dating. I was in LA, I was dating, I was single, whatever. And John, like within the first like literally the first week, he was like calling me his girlfriend. And I said to him, I was like, I'm not your girlfriend. And he straight up said to me, he said, I might not be your boyfriend, but you're my girlfriend. And I was like, what? You like me like that? Like it was just like he was just so straight up and he wasn't playing games and like, you know, he was just so truthful and like and he like
It's kind of one of those moments where you're like, all right, you don't feel that way. Well, this is how I feel.
Right.
And like, just let it be. And if that scares the other person off, then that is what it is.
Yeah. You were just
You know?
like so open and honest. And I was just like, wow, like it was just a breath of fresh air. Again, it was just ticks in my boxes that I didn't even know I had. All right. Last and final question, guys, is do you guys fight and like how to get over an argument? I'm gonna do my brows. John?
What is that? That's the pink stuff.
No, I know, but I'm looking for...
But why is it pink?
No, it's actually, yes, this is pink. I needed to powder this area so that the foundation, when I put this on, doesn't come off.
Oh.
But I don't think I have my brow thing. I mean my...
Do you guys...
Hold on.
Well, we definitely... I would say we argue.
We bicker.
Yeah, we bicker because we know how to kind of push each other's buttons. And I think everybody does. But they're usually about something that's not that important or is just something that annoys somebody rather than something like super important or like
something
bad.
Yeah, like
it's
something
never
that's
something
like
bad.
It's never something bad.
It's like Blake left this area
I used
a
John's
mess.
toothbrush.
Or, yeah, exactly. Or I've asked her to do something like 50 times and she didn't do it, and it was just like something that
I left my clothes on my side of the closet. John won't let me leave my clothes on my side of the closet on the
that
ground.
ended up. So it's more something like that rather than something, or like the content isn't coming out good because
the lighting.
the lighting.
The lighting
and it's
is
not my fault.
It is John's fault that the
And
lighting
so-
is not good.
And so, but I get it because like she took a lot of time to get ready. You're ready to take the photo shoot. The content's due at this time. Like it's work.
Mhm.
Like I get it, but it turns into like you're mad at me instead of just being mad at the situation. So I think it's if you want to solve the argument, you're gonna have to. If you want to solve the argument, you're gonna have to see things from the other person's point of view. Maybe figure out why they're mad and the fact that it may not be what you think it is.
It's really dark.
Oh, that's good.
It's really dark.
Maybe a lot of times I try to figure out like, is it the situation? Like, is it really me doing something? Is it something from
And John,
a while ago?
your undergrad was what? Like psychology or something?
Yeah, I
Like
did
he
a
was gonna be a
biopsychology
therapist or
undergrad.
something. So John's really good with like his words, and I feel like that's why you're good at like these types of things, because you're really like intuitive and you're really good with like understanding people and like understanding people's sides and like why they act the way that they do.
I think a key to solving an argument, if you want to solve it, is seeing something from the other person's side and literally just putting your thoughts and your opinion, which is hard, to the side for a second, seeing why they're angry and what they're mad about, and then seeing the disconnect and then figuring it out. But that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But a lot of times if we're like getting super mad or something like that, I think a good way is to just like take a break, walk away for a second, think about it. Like Blake gets really silent and then I just walk away and then we and then I come back, and because she's never gonna come back, so I come back and I say,
I'm a Sagittarius.
I tell her either
I'm
if
stubborn.
I'm sorry and it's my fault, or I come back and I say like, no, I think that one was your fault, but I say it in a normal tone instead of like, it's your fault. And I think that just de-escalates the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, we for sure bicker
Also,
about stuff.
a hug can really like bring us back together because I love a hug.
No word
and, like,
hug.
Yeah, and
And
then we
she-
just start like it's
and she gives
just
a little
we
laugh.
just start like we can't be mad at each other because like one time I just remember one time I don't remember what we were fighting about, but like you went and laid in the other room and then I came in and then like we just like looked at each other and we just started like giggling and it was just like, why are we like having this like little argument? I would say we more so bicker than like have actual fights, and I think that we've only had like maybe like 2 or 3 fights that have lasted like more than an hour.
When we were remodeling this fucking house,
Yeah, I don't think and John's like always, we're never like mean either, like even when we are fighting, but like John's like never really, he's made me cry like one time and it was during the remodel and he was making me a procrastination queen who can't decide anything, ADD, like can't do anything without having to like get other answers and like
Well, I think-
was
I
asking
think
me
that
to
was
make the
it.
decision that day.
I
I'm
think
like,
that was
I
it
don't know.
because she was asking like 50 people and then would have to wait for those 50 people and then
Hold this again.
would weigh it out after those 50 people. So I was like, why are you even asking these people if you never go with their point
and
of
so
view? That was funny.
I did cry, and I think that's like the only time that John made me cry was when he made me make decisions without getting second opinions from people. But yeah, yeah, I would say like we bicker because like it's just like funny to us a little bit.
Yeah, but we're generally pretty nice to each other.
I can't
We're
get
not,
over
like-
this fucking brow stamp, guys. Like
We're not like mean to each other. So
No.
I know some couples like they go hard on each other all the time, and like we're not really.
No.
Like, I think Blake would cry. She's very sensitive, so
I'm a sensitive Sag,
we're pretty
like,
nice to each other.
Yeah.
But I also think a good way to not get into fights is like that newer thing we've been doing for like a month where we just kiss all the time.
Yeah, we have been really lovey. We're in
Yeah.
our honeymoon era.
But just like kissing like multiple times a day, I actually think it works.
You know
Like,
what
it's weird,
does
but I
make
think
me
it
mad
works.
though? When you let flies in the house and then you don't.
I don't let them in.
When he leaves the door open. Sorry.
With a screen that I got through the door. Flies make Blake really mad.
Are
So
my-
if you want to make her mad,
Yeah.
this one time at Stagecoach, we were in a villa and there were separate rooms and a center part, and somebody left the door open to the center part. I have never seen so many flies in my life ever. And I thought Blake was going to literally die.
Mhm.
It was
I hate
funny.
flies so much.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that is it. I really can't tell if my brows are like aggressive right now. Are they aggressive?
No, I don't think so. But I think this one's done better than this one.
Yeah, it is done better than that one.
Yeah.
Well, this one's my better eyebrow, I think.
No, I just feel like you did the stamp better. Like, let me see that.
Like this one is like fucked up a little bit right
Yeah, like
here.
you didn't do the stamp as like you didn't get it. Where's the color to it?
I don't know, it's just like in this thing. I think that the color
Maybe
might be a
didn't
little bit
sponge it.
dark though. Like this color is like soft brown and they do have a taupe color. Like that's dark for my brow. All right guys, that's the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any other like, come on, just put your arm around me. If you guys have any other like video requests, please let us know. And as always, we love you guys so much. Leave some comments down below if you guys enjoyed this video. Follow, like, subscribe, whatever you do on here, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.